The galactic concord had many traditions, but none as strange or as dangerous as the wish of the Queen. Once every century, the reigning monarch of the Elystran Dominion had to grant one unrefusable wish to an outsider. It was meant as a show of generosity, proof that even the mightiest empire could humble itself before fate. But no one dared to abuse the rite. The Elystrans were proud, ancient, and terrifying in their power. This century, the name drawn from the lottery was not a prince, a warlord, or a corporate magnate. It was Daniel Carter, a human engineer from the edge of Terran space. The Elystrans were not pleased. Daniel was escorted through towering crystal halls, his boots clicking against floors that glowed faintly with living energy. Guards in silver armor watched him with the cold precision of predators, their 4 eyes unblinking. At the end of the corridor, a vast throne room opened up like a cathedral of stars, and on the throne sat Queen Veylara. She was breathtaking, tall, statuesque, draped in flowing silver that shimmered like starlight. Her skin was luminous, her hair cascading like strands of nebula gas, and her crown seemed woven from living flame. Her eyes, for a number, fixed on Daniel with piercing intensity. "You are the human chosen," she said, her voice a velvet blade. "Speak your wish. Know that I cannot refuse it." Daniel swallowed hard. He could feel the weight of 1,000 Elystran nobles staring down at him from balconies above, waiting for him to falter. He had rehearsed a dozen requests: wealth, technology, power for his people. But none of them felt right. Not when he looked at her. "I wish..." His voice caught, but he forced the words out. "I wish for you." The room froze. For the first time in living memory, Queen Veylara's mask of control cracked. Her 4 eyes widened, her breath caught, and color rushed to her cheeks like molten silver. The court erupted in gasps and furious whispers. "You dare." One noble spat, leaping to his feet. But Veylara raised her hand. Silence fell like a guillotine. Her gaze never left Daniel, searching him as though she couldn't decide if he was a fool or a visionary. "Of all things you could have demanded," she said slowly, "you ask for me?" Daniel nodded, heart hammering. "Yes, not your power, not your throne. Just you, the woman behind the crown." Her lips parted, but no sound came. For a queen who had ruled unchallenged for centuries, Priceless composure was everything. And yet here she was, flustered, undone by a single human's words. Finally, she whispered, "Your wish is granted." The announcement spread across the stars within hours. The most powerful queen in the galaxy, bound by oath, now belonged, at least in part, to a human outsider. Outrage rippled through the Dominion. Some called for Daniel's execution, others for war against humanity. But Veylara honored the right. Daniel was given chambers beside hers, guarded by silent sentinels. He was paraded through banquets and ceremonies as the wished one. Yet beneath the spectacle, a quiet storm brewed. One night, when the noise of politics was far away, Veylara visited him. She stood in his chamber doorway, not as a queen, but as a woman uncertain of herself. "Why?" she asked. "Why would you waste the most sacred wish in the galaxy on me?" Daniel shrugged. "Because when I saw you, I didn't see a queen. I saw someone who looked lonely." Her breath caught. For a moment, the weight of centuries slipped from her shoulders, and she looked almost fragile. "You are either braver or more foolish than I imagined." "Maybe both," Daniel said with a smile. Days turned into weeks. What began as an awkward arrangement blossomed into something deeper. Daniel learned the Elystran language, their songs, their history. Veylara, in turn, asked about Earth, about rainstorms, forests, laughter around campfires. She listened with rapt attention, as though these simple human things were treasures. The nobles fumed. They plotted to undermine Daniel, to prove him unworthy. They sent assassins in the night, poisoned his food, even tried to sabotage his ship. But every time, Veylara's personal guard intercepted them, though some whispered it was her own hand that quietly removed the threats. Still, the question haunted them both. Was Daniel her companion by choice, or only by the unbreakable right? One evening, after a long council session, Daniel found her staring out at the stars from a balcony. "You don't have to keep me," he said softly. "If this is just duty, if I'm a chain around your neck, let me go." Veylara turned, her eyes glistening. "You fool! Don't you see? You've undone me. No conqueror, no council, no warrior has ever shaken me the way you have. You are not my chain. You are my freedom." But love in the Elystran court was never simple. A faction of nobles, enraged that their queen would favor a human, invoked the trial of legitimacy, an ancient law demanding that Daniel prove himself worthy in combat, diplomacy, and spirit. Failure meant death. Veylara fought to stop it, but tradition bound her as tightly as the right of the wish. Daniel accepted. He faced challenges designed to break him, dueling Elystran champions twice his size, solving riddles that tested his wit against alien philosophers, and walking the Hall of Memories, where one's deepest fears were laid bare. Through it all, Veylara watched, her heart caught between pride and terror. And through it all, Daniel endured, not because he was the strongest or the cleverest, but because he refused to give up. When he emerged from the Hall of Memories, trembling but unbroken, the crowd was silent. Then, slowly, they bowed. A human had passed the trial. Afterward, when the court dispersed and the stars shone over Crystal City, Daniel stood before Veylara once more. "You've proven yourself," she said, voice trembling with something more than pride. "The wish no longer binds me. If you choose, you may leave now, free and honored among my people." Daniel looked at her, the queen who had once been untouchable, now standing before her with hope shining in her 4 eyes. "My wish hasn't changed," he said softly. "I still choose you." Veylara's composure finally shattered. A laugh broke from her lips, rich and unrestrained, followed by tears that gleamed like starlight. She stepped forward, cupped his face in her hands, and for the first time, kissed him, not as a queen bound by duty, but as a woman overwhelmed by love. The galaxy might rage, the nobles might scheme, but in that moment, none of it mattered, because the most powerful queen in the stars had been given a wish she couldn't refuse, and the human who dared to claim her had chosen her, again and again.